Yes. Ooh. Oh. Oh yeah. Ah. What is up, my niggas? I'm your host, Dick the Brick. What is up, you silly cocks? Today we will be having some lulz at a YouTube video by Emily Hart called, quote, Why I Am Single. She will be giving the reasons she has imagined in her smaller female brain, and I will be giving the actual reasons she is single as calculated by my larger superior male brain. Lol.
I think me doing this topic is equivalent to, you see my foot here? My hand's a gun. So well, let's begin then. So out of all the questions and comments that I have on my videos, this is probably the top one. Why are you single? So I thought it best I tackle this subject in a video because I'll be honest, I'm sick of saying the same reply to every single one of them. I know, it's not because I'm a lesbian. Although I did actually develop feelings for a girl that had a girlfriend a few years ago. But you guys don't want to hear about that, do you?
Interesting. You say you are not a lesbian but managed to develop feelings for a female lesbian who already had a girlfriend. This could mean that you, like many other females, only desire something that you can't have, so when you do have a man's validation it repulses you because you want to suck on forbidden fruits instead of the ones available in your own hand.
You do? Tough. So I think from the age of about 17, I was always the sister that had all the boyfriends.
It sounds like you enjoyed riding the cock carousel in your younger years and threw away your prime fertility years where you are most likely to secure a long-term male partner in the pursuit of living life like the whores in Sex and the City. Now you have been ridden out by a long list of cocks. The men who meet your probably ridiculously high standards have sexual access to younger and more attractive females who will suck Willy on the first date.
There was Barney, who was like the stud of my senior school, and for some reason he woke up one day and decided that he fancied me. Then there was Greg, the Australian, who, well, cheated on me.
Sounds like you don't enjoy sucking Willy enough or are bad in bed. Or maybe you used sex as a control mechanism to try and condition Greg's behavior and he wanted to make like a whale and free Willy.
Then there was Steele. Yes, I said Steele. His name was Steele. He lived in South Africa and I lived in Cape Town with him for about a year. And then there was Charlie, and then there was Neil, and then there was James.
Well, it sure sounds like you enjoyed riding the cock carousel. But darling, all good rides come to an end, and for women this usually means a dark future of dildos, cats and soap operas while you keep telling yourself you are a strong and independent feminist woman.
And although I did definitely love them all at the time, I think if I dated them now, I don't think we'd have lasted very long. You know when you're younger and you've got your whole life ahead of you, having a boyfriend that you weren't quite sure about didn't matter. Because what's a year when you're like 22?
It sounds like in your prime years you dated the early blooming high school dropout bad boys who dealt drugs and earned a lot of fast cash in their early years while ignoring the more intelligent men with larger long-term goals. And now you are likely in debt and realizing your looks are fading. You want a successful beta male provider who can have your used up remains of a gash. Lol. Darling, I don't say this just to be a prick, but because promiscuity is undesirable in females for a reason. Sexual liberation of females is great for men who want to pump and dump hypergamous young women, but it's not so great for desperate women whose looks are rapidly fading.
I was young. I went forth. I spreaded my oats. What are the oats? Are they like my eggs?
No, darling, females don't have wild oats or seeds to spread. Females have the soil that the seeds get planted in, and men as the seed growers don't want a dried up barren patch of dirt full of bugs and weeds, especially considering they usually have to pay good money for it. They want a nice tight moist patch of soil that hasn't been over-farmed to the point of soil erosion. Lol. Look at what feminism has done. You are now getting your first proper sex education at the age of 32 by an internet Willy because you were fed misleading propaganda about equality and you ate it up like a dumb whore in a throat destruction porno.
What am I doing? Anyway, as I got older, I think when I got to about 27, I was like, shit, I need to get my shit sorted and meet my husband. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that was a good way to think. I put like a ton of pressure on myself to find a boyfriend, but actually I did end up meeting someone at 27 who I fell absolutely head over heels for. Like, wow, how I felt was intense. I just absolutely loved him. I loved everything about him. I wanted to spend all my time with him. And we actually ended up staying together for about 2 years. And then, well, don't want to dwell on that in this video because I don't want it to take a real sad nosedive. But he just wasn't looking for the same thing I was, really. Well, that's actually not strictly true. He just wasn't looking for anything forever with me, you know?
Yes, darling. Men who want something forever in the current dating environment are idiots. The closest thing a man can now get to securing a long-term relationship is marriage, and most marriages fail after a short period of time, and the whore usually leaves with half the man's cash and his children. And if the relationship doesn't fail, the woman usually becomes a nagging cunt who parasites off of the man's resources and only allows sex on public holidays when she isn't too busy at her low-paying so-called career that she only does so she doesn't feel oppressed by the so-called patriarchy.
Anyway, it was a supremely shit time for me after that for quite a few years.
Good. Lol. Nobody cares.
Just really put me off meeting someone, like, for a really long time. Since then, well, I've obviously dated people, some for just one date, some for a few months. I don't know, I'm looking to really feel the feels, you know?
That's code for a man with lots of cash that's dumb enough to sign a marriage contract.
Penises, they're just like, whatever. But like, why do people send those to you? Because they're not like, I'm not like that turned on. I'd rather see like your stomach or your chest or something.
Or your bank account.
Hey!
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, now that's a real turn on.
You know that exciting, addictive feeling you get in your body when you meet someone that you have this crazy chemistry with and you connect on like all levels? That shit is genuinely like crack. Not that I've actually tried crack, but I imagine it's a very similar feeling.
I don't believe you. I bet you were a crack whore back in the day.
And because I know how that amazing kind of connection can feel, when I meet men now that I go on a date with where I don't feel that, it's not good enough for me. I know that I have got way more fussier and picky over the years. I'm very well aware of this fact, but I have a lot of friends and people in my life that I know have settled for someone that is nice and they get on with, and is nice and they get on with, and
nice and can get along with. Lol. We both know that you bitches love a bad boy that can give you crack cocaine and hate fuck you and has lots of cash, but the dilemma is they are not usually marriage material and they usually pump and dump your asses because they are street smart and not simps.
hey, there's something in me, I can't do that, like I can't settle and I won't settle. Now obviously the problem with all of this is that it takes longer to meet someone often. And I have been single for quite a few years, like 4 years I think. But I'll be honest, I needed to be single for that time. I was always someone that had to be around people all the time and I depended on everyone to pick me up if I felt shit. But since then, I've travelled by myself, I've had 2 shows commissioned by Channel 4. I got through a severely long period of mental health issues all by myself.
Emily darling, it sounds like you may be a crazy bitch and that's why you are single. So spare me this bullshit nonsense of a spiritual journey and put me in your mouth already and prepare to gag.
I guess I just feel really proud of where I am and what I've achieved in those years. But love is what makes the world go around, and I love being in love, like I love it. I wear my heart on my sleeve and I just feel sad for people that have settled because they'll never get to know how incredible that I mean, I could talk about it for a long time, but you guys know what I mean, that like, it knocks you, doesn't it, when you meet someone that you just fall totally in love with. I'm a reach for the stars kind of person, you know?
Emily baby, it sounds like you have had sexual access to males who were out of your league for long-term commitment but were willing to settle for your pussy for a short-term pump and dump, and you got way too excited and infatuated. It sounds like as a result of this you think every woman who doesn't spend her prime fertility years in her 20s riding bad boy cock is somehow settling for less. But the joke is on you, bitch. Ha ha ha. I hope you die alone. Lol.
I'm a reach for the stars kind of person, you know? In life, career, men. Some might say overachiever.
I would say overachiever. Ovary is in ovaries. Because there are literally millions of narcissistic self-important females like yourself who work mundane jobs and think that this somehow makes them superwoman. Lol. You women understand having a fucking job doesn't make you an overachiever, right? Most of your jobs are fucking waiting tables, cleaning and looking after children at daycare centers. It just means you are not daddy's little girl anymore and don't have a beta provider husband.
I would say, maybe I'd agree with them actually. So, I'm going to end this video here because I don't want it to be super long. I think I've said what I wanted to say. I hope I've answered your questions about why I'm single. Now maybe people can stop asking me. Well, that would be grand. I don't know exactly who I'm looking for. I don't have a specific type, but I've always had a very good gut instinct about stuff, and I just know when I know. So when I don't know, it's a no, you know? Also, I wanted to say, don't get me wrong, in saying all this, my ovaries know I'm 32. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you know, I love being single and, you know, I don't want a boyfriend. I'm just more honest than that, really. Like, I think a lot of people, if they really admitted to themselves that they would want a boyfriend because it's nice.
Well, darling, you understand that this cultural attitude of females riding the cock carousel in their 20s and being complete bitches to men in general before wanting to settle down like the girls in Sex and the City does have consequences, right? Life is not a fucking TV show. I honestly hope no man ever proposes to you or reproduces with you so you can use him for financial security under the guise of so-called love. Men need to make it clear to women that they need us more than we need them by not marrying or knocking up these used-up sluts. The next stage is for male employers to fire female employees at unprecedented rates and cut female welfare programs so that men can re-establish their natural place as the dominant sex instead of playing along with this equality bullshit that leaves women used, dried up, lonely and old.
Isn't it? Sometimes it does make me sad, sometimes I do feel lonely, and I think admitting that kind of stuff is like the hardest thing, but I'm quite like a believer in what's meant to be will be. Life took a different path for me than I thought, but other things have replaced things that I thought were going to happen, and they've been amazing. I just think you just have to believe it's going to happen for you. So, ovaries, shut the fuck up. Well, what a note to end the video on. I'm gonna go. Bye.
Goodbye, Emily. And I hope you die alone and in lots of debt. Lol. Thanks for watching, faggots. And I will see you next time. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe and bell. And as always, grab life by the cunt and go MGTOW. I meant pussy. Lol. Grab life by the pussy and go MGTOW.